Hi everyone. I'm trying to feel better about myself today. It's always a little bit of struggle when I feel like someone's been abusive towards me. I switched my regular Medicare to Medicare Advantage. And I tried to go to urgent care yesterday and they didn't accept the plan I now have. So I called and tried to change it back to regular Medicare. And they gave me a runaround and didn't answer questions directly because they don't want you to cancel. I made it evident that I wasn't really an irritated tone I used, more of a very direct tone. I said at one point to the woman who was helping me, I'm like, I get that you're irritated with me, but can you help me with this? And she's like, no, I'm not irritated at you, because they're not allowed to say they're irritated at you. Although she brought up some point, she's like, well, I already asked if you wanted to do that, and you said no, which she had never asked me that. She tried to prove she had. I know what you said. I'm not deaf. So then it's like, I go through this thing, in my heart where I'm like, okay, it's not your fault that other people mistreated you. And it's just like, by the end, when they thought I was going to keep the plan, they finally told me how to get out of the plan without incurring fees. It's like, you could have fucking started with that. I didn't say that. I don't really speak to people like that. Maybe I should. But it's just such bullshit. I think these people are trying to help me and give me these extra things I might need. And then it's also if you have Medicare Advantage, at least in the case of the one they signed me up for that I thought was a good plan, you can't use it across the country. So I can't really travel. I have to stay in one area and see doctors. So basically, if I was go to an urgent care and get sick while I was traveling, which I don't know if I'll do in the next year, so it may not matter, I couldn't pop into urgent care and get something. To me, unless I start making a lot of money, which could happen, I'm just pretty mad at the government. I'm worried about speaking about the government because I know they shut down things they deem unsafe or whatever to them. But you ever read the book 1984? I feel like maybe I'm going on too long, but I was thinking about 1984 because I read all or part of the book. I don't remember, but I got the gist of what it was about. I read Brave New World, but that's a different book. I read 1984 later in my adult life. But the opening scene or somewhere in the beginning of the book, he's in his room where he lives or his apartment, but it's very small. And there's, I think, a screen or a light or something in the room that watches you. Anyways, I think we're living in 1984. It's just 2022. So there are people out there that want to help. I know they exist. And I think it's just important to point your mind more towards knowing that you will get help versus pessimism. Or even when I say to myself, I'm healthy versus I'm sick. How does that resonate in your body, even if you are feeling sick? Saying I'm healthy helps your body rejuvenate because then it's programmed towards health. But the latter, in some sense, that word doesn't really need to exist. And maybe it's spoken of differently in other cultures. But my guess is like people that live in jungles and stuff are a lot healthier than the average American. I just don't like being part of anything where I'm feeling pressured to be part of it. And I definitely feel like I'm being pressured to be part of this other plan. Now, why would that be? I know these people get a commission if I sign up for the plan. That's got to be the case. Like, everyone's getting more money if they get me on, like, a specific plan. And they say we'll be charged if I don't have a prescription drug plan with my regular Medicare A and B. But I didn't get charged last year. I didn't have a prescription drug plan. I did have Medicaid in Montana, which might have covered the prescriptions. I don't know. Not really sure. But my prescriptions were basically all covered in Montana, so that could have been explained by that somehow. I'm just saying be careful out there. There's nothing wrong with standing up for yourself. You're not at fault. I'm saying this to myself. Because my autopilot is to like lament all day and feel like I did something awful, which will turn into depression by tomorrow. And that's not what happened. People tried to manipulate me. I stood up for myself, wasn't able to accomplish my goal, but figured out how to. And I'm just kind of done acquiescing and being nice. Never got me anywhere, it just made me feel like shit. So I've just got to be more direct with people. You know, and sometimes a bit rude. They're being rude to me. You know, I don't believe in an eye for an eye, but like, standing up for yourself is not an eye for an eye. I don't know what the subtle differences are. Those have always been kind of things that are hard for me to figure out, but maybe try to track down like your depression patterns, you know? That could be a helpful exercise, like what usually sends you into this tailspin, and like maybe where you can halt it. This could be difficult if all you ever experience is depression. But the only way to really get better is figure out where it started. You don't have to start from that point, but it's one of the places you can start from. All right, I'm gonna try. Okay, I'm gonna